Om Namo Narayana, welcome back. We're reading today the Kaligni Rudra Upanishad. Once it happened that Sanat Kumara asked the exalted Kaligni Rudra, "Teach me, O exalted sir, the truth in respect to the rule of the Trupandram, a sect mark consisting of 3 streaks, and what material, which place, how much, and of what extent, and which streaks, which divinity, which formula, which powers, and which reward there are." The exalted one said to him, "The material should be the ash of fires. One should grasp it with the 5 Brahman formulas, Tatyojata, Vamadevam, Agaram, Rudram, and Isanam. Consecrate it with the formula Agnir iti Basma. Take out with the formula Manastoka Tanyaye. And after concentrating with the formula Trayambakam Yajamahe, should apply it as 3 lines across the forehead, across the head, breast, and shoulders, under the Trayusa formulas, Trayambaka formulas, and Trisakti formulas. Such is the Sambhu vow, which is taught in all the Vedas by those versed in the Veda. Therefore, one desirous of liberation should practice it, so that he is not born again. And this, O Sanat Kumara, is its extent. It stretches threefold from the forehead down to the eyes, and goes from the center of one eyebrow to the other. The first line is the Grahapatya fire, the Ah of Om, the Rajas, the terrestrial world, the external Atman, the acting power, the Rigveda, the morning pressing of Soma juice, and the Mahashvara in its divinity. The second line is the Dakshina fire, the O of the Sattvam, the atmosphere, the inner Atman, the willing power, the Yajurveda, the midday pressing of the Soma, and Sadashiva in its divinity. The third line is the Ahavanya fire, the sound of Om, the Tamas, the heaven, the highest Atman, the perceiving power, the Samaveda, the evening pressing of the Soma, and Shiva in its divinity. Therefore, he makes the Tripundram from the ashes. He who knows this, whether he be Brahmin, student, householder, or a forest resident, or an ascetic, he is thereby purified of all the major sins and minor sins. Thereby all the gods are meditated upon him. He is known by all the gods, becomes one who is bathed in all the holy bathing places, one who has all the time muttered the Rudra prayer, and after enjoying all the pleasures he enters, giving up the body into union with Shiva, and does not return. To repeat, he does not return. Thus spoke the exalted Kaligni Rudra. One who recites it here, he also attains to a similar state. Satya. Thus reads the Upanishad. So this Upanishad is much like another one I've read, but I can't remember the name of it. But they both talk about the forehead markings and describe, and this is what I thought was really cool the first time I ever read one of these Upanishads, was not just, you see these Hindus on the markings, and which shows which sect they belong to, but each marking has its own, it represents its own thing and its own meaning, and I just found that just so cool. I didn't know that. I thought it was simply a way of telling, oh, that's a Shaivite, that's a Vaishnava, that's a whatever. No, it's more than that. So what you have here is an Upanishadic commandment, do we use that word, to wear a marking. And you may also know that Hindus wear markings on other parts of their body too. It's not just up here, it's elsewhere. And the other thing that I like about this is it gives an authoritative background to some practice. And I think that's really important in a day and age where, honestly, people create stuff all the time and they say stuff all the time, and there's no authoritative background to what they're saying. There really isn't. It's not scriptural. And that's become something really big for me over the last few years. having beliefs that are scriptural. Because if I'm going to say I'm someone who believes in Scripture, does it then make sense to say I believe in a bunch of stuff that can't be found in Scripture? That maybe is a century old, or maybe just a few generations old? To me, no. I want to either believe in Scripture or believe in something else. Or a synthesis of the two, but that's not my choice. That's my path. So I love seeing things like this. Doesn't mean I necessarily practice that, no. I will say that. I'll be open and confess that. Obviously, I don't wear anything on this channel, but I like knowing, there are things that are scriptural and unscriptural and whatever, and at least I try to get rid of things which aren't scriptural. Do I follow the scripture? No, but it's a slow process. And I don't know. That's just my thoughts on this. It was kind of fun to read this. Didn't know what I was walking into when I chose this Upanishad. That was kind of cool. So, your thoughts and all that, please, down below. And with this, I will say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.